Creating bosses for a game is not an easy task. On one hand, you want to make them challenging enough to provide a good experience, yet beatable for the average player so they don't get stuck and are unable to progress the game. But this video won't focus on the game design part of creating bosses, but more on how I created my first boss monster and the challenges I faced while doing so. Hi, my name is Ilya and I'm currently working on a 2D Metroidvania game called Onchu. Just keep in mind that I'll be focusing on the technical side of things and that the art and animations of the boss are not ready yet. Before diving in, I want to give you a full cycle of the boss fight so you can understand my goal. The player will be frozen after reaching a certain point, and an intro scene from the boss will play, which is not ready yet, so the player will just get the free hit for now. The boss fight has 2 stages, and the first stage has 3 attacks, all tested using the eyes. Eye 1 demonstrates the charge attack, Eye 2 the melee attack, and Eye 3 the earthquake attack. The red color will be replaced with an indicator for the attack, so the player can dodge it, and the green shows the end of the attack. These attacks are random, but they will never repeat themselves. During openings, player can hit the boss, and the eyes will lose thorns and eventually go dead after a few hits. Once all eyes are destroyed, the boss will emerge from the ground, revealing that it's actually not a monster but a person controlling a machine. I'm not quite satisfied with the art of the person inside it, so I may change it later on. Additionally, I'm still searching for a name for a group of people that are controlling the boss. For now I'm going with punks, but if you have any better idea, please let me know in the comments below. Moving on to stage 2, the boss has 3 attacks similar to stage 1. The charging attack, the earthquake attack, and the cannon attack, replacing the melee attack from stage 1. And that's pretty much it for the first boss. You then have to hit him until 0 HP and he will die. I understand that having a boss with similar attacks to a small enemy and being stationary with simple attack patterns may not seem very creative. However, remember that this is the first boss, not just for me but also for the player. There will be enough time to build on top of it and create more challenging bosses as the game progresses. Next, let's talk about how the boss fight works and what I tried to make it scalable. I won't dive deep into all the code I tried because, to be honest, it was very chaotic and involved a lot of trial and error. Instead, I'll try to showcase the structure like this. In my first attempt, I wanted to create one parent script for all the bosses and have child scripts for each boss and each stage. However, I ran into the problem where the stage 2 didn't know what happened in stage 1 and always started with the base stats instead of the modified stats from stage 1. This is problematic for shared stats such as health points. Although you could find a workaround, it could create other problems in the future as well. Then I tried to have a base script that handles all the stats and stage scripts that read and change the stats from the base script. But now there is no parent script for all the bosses that register player damage. So I created an empty parent script that gets overwritten by the first enemy script holding all the stats. As you can see, I merged the stats holding script and the stage 1 scripts for some reason. But after fixing this, my final script structure looked like this. You have one boss base script that is the same for every boss and can be focused by the player. Then you have a control script for every boss that overrides the boss base script, and different stage scripts that read and change the stats and information on the control script. For those who are interested, here are all the final scripts. I attempted various methods to combine the animation and programming of the boss monster. My aim was to discover an approach that would function for future bosses and not be too vulnerable to bugs and timing inaccuracies. Initially, I attempted to control everything through code and trigger animations from there. However, since the code executes faster than the animations, and I didn't want to rely only on coroutines for perfect timing, I decided to incorporate animations for some attacks like the spike attack. Next, I attempted to perform everything through animations alone by utilizing events that would activate certain sections of the script. However, I encountered timing issues because I required certain attacks like the move attack to be performed through code. Additionally, animations would loop and trigger events twice, and I planned to utilize events for specific VFX and sounds, so I didn't want to integrate them too much with functionality. Ultimately, I ended up utilizing behavior scripts on the main animations and calling my main script from there. Other animations were simply left with an exit time. For instance, in attack 1 the indicator runs down the animation once, which is purely visual, before the actual attack animation begins and calls the script from the attack at the same time. The script for the attack then sets a trigger at the end that finishes the animation. When the animation switches to the ending, it resets everything, allowing the attack chooser to select again. After successfully implementing the boss fight, I decided to work on the cave, adding some rocks and testing out some art-related ideas. However, there was one issue that I couldn't explain. There was always a 1 pixel gap between some of the tiles. Even though I created all the tile map parts pixel perfect and double-checked the file size. Eventually I solved this problem by slicing the picture in Krita and importing all the tiles separately. After that I drew the scene and added some rocks in the foreground and background. I also had the idea of a hole that looks out into the sea. I also added specific lighting to it. While it's not the final version, it's sufficient to set the mood. That concludes this devlog. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and comment your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe so you don't miss the next devlog, where I will likely implement some new player attacks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!